It's the blog segment. The blog. The blog.
Okay, so what I wanted to talk about.
Some moment of clarity.
It is.
Some moment of clarity while this music plays out.
What I wanted to talk about, it just changed. Because I want to talk about the deadline because it's approaching. The March 15th deadline for companies has just passed last Monday because it was the 16th because 15th was a Sunday, and we've talked about that on the show, how they change the dates based on when they fall. If it falls on a weekend, it goes to the next day, which is the Monday. So that was the deadline for businesses was last Monday, and we met it. Many of my clients had filed their business taxes or asked for an extension. There's a lot of that going on. A lot of business people asked for an extension, and so they got their extension. But what's happening now, first, the IRS, because of all this, the IRS granted 90 days to pay. So they said, you don't have to pay. If you owe taxes, in order to give you some cash flow, you don't have to pay your taxes up to $1 million until July 15th. To qualify for that, you had to file your taxes by April 15th or file an extension by April 15th. But today, Friday, they changed that. And they said, you know what? We're not only going to let you pay by July 15th, but now we're going to let you file your taxes by July 15th. So you're not going to get any penalties or interest if you don't pay. And you don't have to ask for an extension. We're going to give you the extension until July 15th. Mm-hmm. So that it helps.
I'm taking a look right here of what was said. So I'm just trying to follow along.
Okay, but it helps people because, again, if you can't be traveling anywhere, how are you going to get your stuff to your accountant? Now, a lot of this stuff is on. So here's my advice to people. If you have all of your things, file by April 15th. Okay, even if you have to pay, then don't pay. And even if I wouldn't pay because there's no penalties or interest. So even if I had the money to pay the IRS on April 15th, I wouldn't pay them until July 15th because there's no penalties or interest. And so I might as well keep my money because I don't know what's going to happen. So if I have the money and the cash, hold the money in the cash. That's what I would do. But I would file by April 15th if I at all could. If it's at all possible, I could still do it. We talked about the online situation that there's places online that if you make less than $60,000 or $65,000 that you can do it for free. So and that's all online, and you can go online and do that for free. And I'm sure that's still going to be available. I don't know if everybody sitting at home means that our internet service is going to be interrupted, but I suspect that that's going to happen, right? Because more people are on your Comcast. I use Comcast, so I would think that there's going to be more people on every day that are usually at work, so it's going to make it more clogged.
The video calls are probably going to make everything crazy.
It's going to clog up the broadband.
My sister does that. She does video conferencing for a company and helps set that up, and she goes, it's insane. It's insane now. Like it's all I'm doing 24/7.
Yeah. So we're all staying at home. But again, my advice to you is get your tax returns done. If you need someone to do your tax returns, we do tax returns. I'm not one to do the one shot tax returns. If you're looking for someone that you want to hire going forward, sometimes tax returns are a lot like insurance people. You get a tax preparer and you stay with that tax preparer going forward. You don't really change every year. And so if that's you, if you're looking for someone that you can trust on the Trust Radio Network, member of the Trusted Professionals, that's Open Tax Advocates. We help people solve IRS problems, but we also help people file their tax returns because that's part of compliance. And so here's another thing I wanted to talk to. I think I'm going to talk about that in the Mr. Know-It-All segment about what's going on. What should you do now if you have if you're in a position or in some sort of an agreement with the IRS, what should you do going forward? So make sure that you stay tuned. Whether I helped you or not, if you're in some sort of an agreement with the IRS, it's going to be hard for you to keep it, right? Because things are changing. And and some of us aren't working, and some of us, and so things change. And so I'm going to talk about that on the Mr. Know-It-All segment. So make sure you stay tuned.
Oh, that's in a couple segments.
That's right.
That's going to be important information for people.
Exactly.
That you can't miss out on.
Because I could tell you that I have clients now that we're in the midst of coming up with some sort of an agreement, and circumstances have changed, right? Times change. Now, things that were the same.
That's interesting to hear how you, as we go forward, how you're going to address those situations that change. What's going to happen?
Well, right now, they haven't closed the IRS down. I would suspect, and I think I talked about this last week, I suspect that that's going to happen sometime. Are they essential? I think they are essential. I don't know. Here's something that people don't know too. Many IRS revenue agents and things, or revenue officers, they work out of their home. So there's a lot of that remote working right now going on. So that shouldn't change. They can still collect. They can still freeze your bank account remotely from home. They don't have to go to the office. So, but people don't really realize that a lot of these IRS, even if they don't have to close down the IRS office. They're all working remotely anyway. But I suspect that there'll probably be a shutdown. With all that's going on. I guess if there's a shutdown, then you don't have to worry about the IRS coming after you. But as we sit here today, they haven't shut down. They have still frozen my clients' bank accounts and things. So they're still trying to levy everybody. So it hasn't stopped yet. So don't think that just because this is happening that somehow you're immune, because you're not. There'd be nothing worse now than having some money in the bank and having the IRS freeze it on you, right? And now in the midst of all this, then what do you do?
If that's happening to you, you have to call Attorney Stephen Leahy with Open Tax.
One of the things is hardship. So we can prove a hardship. We can get that released. So if that happens to you, make sure you call us. Don't try to do this yourself. I can tell you that right now.
That's Open Tax Advocates. 312-664-6649. If it's ChicagoTaxTeam.com, it's going to be your hub. They'll fight the IRS. If the IRS is freezing your assets during this time of need, and you are going, oh my God, the sky is falling. Not yet. Attorney Stephen Leahy will help you. 312-664-6649. I have to go to a commercial break. But remember that number. Call him and come right back here on the M560.
The Answer.